Hello everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport. I'm at Terminal 3. I just got off a flight from Cairns and now I'm going to be heading down to Melbourne on board QF455 on an Airbus A330 economy class. Before I continue, I'd just like to note that for those of you who are new, this is not the normal quality of my videos. Just while I still have some from my old camera, I thought I might as well just post them as a bit of a bonus. So most of my videos that go out 6 PM AEDT will have better quality. So yeah, here we are at Sydney Airport. Just went through the 737 modelled walkway, which shows some of Qantas's destinations, which is pretty cool. Another note that I would like to make is that this was recorded back in July 2018, so Qantas has changed so much, mostly for the worse by then. After aimlessly walking around the terminal and filming it for some reason, I just found our gate over here, which appears to be gate lounge number 5, and I also found our plane for today. My ride down to Melbourne today is Victor Hotel Echo Bravo Foxtrot, or VH-EBF. It's an Airbus A330-200, delivered brand new to Jetstar in 2007 and then transferred over to Qantas in 2015. It has since been stored somewhere in Germany and it's apparently up for conversion according to planespotters.net. However, I have no idea what that means, so I think it actually might have seen the last of its days with Qantas. Anyways, now that we've seen our plane, it's now time to board. Upon boarding, there was complimentary headphones in case you're on a plane that has IFEs, but ours was not one of the lucky A330s that do have them equipped in economy class.
How are you?
Good.
Hi guys. Hello. Good. Thank you. Great.
Okay, you've got to go to the other side and turn right there.
Welcome on board the Qantas Airbus A330-200. Business class is in a 121 layout, which you can see just here. Wish I was there. Hopefully I'll get to try that sometime in the future. And economy class is in a standard 242 layout, which almost all A330s have. However, some very tight A330s, such as Cebu Pacific and AirAsia, have a 333 layout. After a long walk to row 48, here's my seat for today, 48K, on the left-hand side of the aircraft when boarding from the front. The cabin crew just came around and handed out this little drawing kit, which they give to kids sometimes. Personally, never been interested in them, but it's a nice thought. So here's the seat back pocket. I have a very nice view of towards the back of the wing. On the armrest here, we have what appears to be a TV remote. However, no clue what it's for since there's no TV here, just a device holder.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you seat yourself into your seats, we do ask that you please let your fellow passengers pass behind you while you're stowing your baggage, as there is a rather long line at the forward door. Thank you.
It is now time for Pushback. I do apologise for not showing more of the seat features. I'm not sure why I didn't film that, but it was a long time ago, so can't really remember. But what I do know, since I've been on the A330-200 since, is that the legroom is 31 inches, and it's pretty solid considering the 737 is only 30 inches, and it's the same, if not better, than all of its competitors on this route. And yeah, the seat padding is pretty comfy, and there's a nice headrest as well, which is adjustable.
We'd appreciate your attention for just a few moments while we take you through our safety procedures.
Just make sure those devices are not G'day and welcome to Qantas. For almost 100 years we've been connecting Aussies with the world, and the entire world with the spirit of Australia. Wherever your journey takes you today.
Cabin crew have just come around to serve us the in-flight meal. Now, I can't believe that I got a meal back then on a 1-hour flight from Sydney to Melbourne with Qantas. These days, you're lucky to get a sandwich. So yeah, have some soy rice crackers, which I remember asking for seconds, and they gave it to me because they were very tasty. And also a nice box of curry, which I remember being really good. And to this day, I don't think I've had curry on an airplane that has beat it.
Speaking once again, we're currently out at 17 nautical miles from Melbourne, and as you can tell, start our descent. Fortunately, air traffic control slowed us down a bit, so I'm going to lose about 5 minutes. So the good news is, we still should be just back in the terminal on schedule at 5 minutes past 7.
So in conclusion of the meal service, I'd say that it overall was really, really impressive. I just wish that they do that these days, since you never get that. In fact, you're lucky to get even a sandwich on a flight from Sydney to Melbourne now. I think it's now about time to conclude the rest of the trip report. We're on approach into Melbourne Tullamarine International Airport. Well, the journey started off at Sydney when I got off my flight from Cairns. I remember the experience. Basically, once you get off the plane, you're just free to go anywhere you want in the terminal, so that's obviously very easy. Once again, I can only give a short summary because I don't remember exactly what happened, but it seems like all the crew were pretty friendly, and I was impressed very much by the meal service once we got on board. And then it sounds like we landed about on time in Melbourne. So overall, I think it was a spectacular flight with Qantas. As I said though, I can't say the same now. If you've seen any of my videos on Qantas recently, then you'd know that they've gone really downhill. Also, if you've been paying attention to the news here in Australia, then you would also know that. So yeah, I really hope one day that Qantas can return to its former glory, but for now, I think Qantas is definitely not worth paying extra for. Welcome to Melbourne. Here's my attempt, but miserably failing at doing some plane spotting with my camera. Definitely, I hope I've got better at filming. I think I have at least, so yeah. Also, just quickly to add to the conclusion, I'd like to say that I would take an A330-200 or 300, even better, over the 737 any day, even these days. Also, you just saw there an Air China A330. Really miss seeing them in Melbourne. You still occasionally get them in Sydney. I really hope that once COVID has settled down in China, we'll begin to see all of these awesome Chinese airlines returning to Australia. It's now time to deboard and to get even more jealous over these business class seats, which look absolutely beautiful. Okay, so thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoyed, we very much appreciated. But as always, it's not necessary nor expected. So yeah, thank you to all my amazing Patreons who helped to make these videos possible. Their names will be on screen now. I appreciate you all very, very much. Check out my website for information on upcoming flights and community tab for information on schedules and polls. Also, to add to this trip report, we just got locked out since I went to see the cockpit, so yeah, that's a bit awkward. Anyways, that was very weird, but now time to move on to the Q&A, so stay tuned for the next few minutes while I answer some of your questions. First up, Jakey Boy 3 asks, what's your favourite airline in Australia? Well, that's actually probably quite an easy one for me. Personally, I really, really like Rex. I think they're by far the best airline in Australia. However, I do really like the Velocity Frequent Flyer program. Next up, Brad Attucks asks, sorry if I'm pronouncing any of this wrong, love the content, do you ever plan to come to ZQN and do you go to the airport to plane spot? Well, yes, I would love to go to Queenstown, which is what ZQN is. I have been there many years ago, I think it was 6 years ago now, and I remember it being really nice. So yeah, I would love to go back there in the next few years. And I used to go to the airport to plane spot during COVID, however, since that, I haven't really been there much since. Obviously, when I'm at the airport, I love to plane spot, but I don't go there specifically for that. Next up, Zav asks, what created a passion of planes for me? So, I actually don't really know exactly. I do recall back in 2015 watching a Simply Aviation video that popped up in my recommended, and I just kind of thought that was really interesting and then just slowly got more and more into it as the years went by. So, yeah, hope that answers your question. Moving on now, Zachary Myers asks, do you take flight lessons or do I plan to? No, I do not currently, but I plan to in the near future. In fact, let me know if you would like to see a video on that when I take my trial flight. So, yeah. But yes, I do hope to do that very soon. Next one here, Oscar Wire asks, can you do Melbourne to Los Angeles, Sydney to Los Angeles, Sydney to Honolulu, all of them back, Sydney to Vancouver, and please Hobart to Sydney on the Jetstar A320 JQ 720. I do tend to get a lot of requests from people, and look, I really, really wish that I could fulfill all of those requests, but unfortunately for me, I don't really have the money to do all of your requests, and also sometimes it just doesn't work with the destination. I always am open to suggestions though, but just know that I can't necessarily do exactly what you asked me to do. So to answer that question, I would like to, but no, I can't guarantee that I will be able to do that in the near future. Another question that was asked and gets asked very often is, how do I afford these videos? It's kind of hard for me to answer, to be honest, but long story short, I have a pretty supportive family, which is very much appreciated, and also I make the most of sales and stuff that come on, so I make sure that I book in advance so that I can get the cheapest price possible. Also, just to clarify, some people probably think that I fly every week. That's not the case. I just fly in school holidays. I tend to fly more often than not much during school time. So yeah, sorry I couldn't answer that question too much, but I'm not really too sure how to answer it, to be completely honest with you. Both Jason Vandermeer and Zachary Myers have asked if I ever get any strange looks from flight attendants or just anyone in general, really, when I'm filming. The answer to that is most certainly yes. I've had it once, actually. on Virgin Australia, like the crew came up to me and they asked if they could take the microphone and show it to the pilot because they were a bit concerned about that. Otherwise, sometimes people just look at me a bit strange, especially when I've been on little turboprops that are really quiet before the engines get going, and when I'm doing the seat review, it's very awkward because everyone's looking at me. But for the most part, I don't necessarily get heaps of strange looks, but yeah, I do sometimes. Jason Vandermeer also asked if I have any tips for Australian airports. I highly doubt, to be honest, that any of them will see this, but in the off chance that they do, yeah, I do. I think that Sydney Airport really needs a check-in upgrade and security. It's just really old and there's not much automation anywhere. So, yeah. Otherwise, not off the top of my head. That's probably the main thing. Jason Vandermeer also asked if there's any aircraft routes or airlines that I have not yet tried that I'd really like to try. Yeah, there most certainly would be. I'd really like to try Malaysia Airlines A330. I think that'd be very interesting. Obviously, some of the ones that are high on my list I doubt I'll be able to do before they're retired, but I'd love to be able to try the Air Zimbabwe 737-200 and maybe like the Mahana 747-400. And obviously, I haven't actually been on the 767-300, which is ironic since it's the aircraft that my channel was named after. So I really hope to get on one of them in the next few years as well. And the last one would be ANA, which I don't know why, really. I think it'd just be a very cool experience, and I've heard that they're really good. So I really hope to try them in the next few years as well. Zachary Myers also asked, what are my upcoming flights? So, well, if you want to know all of them, they're all on my website, which is aviation763.com. But to name a few, probably the more exciting ones, I plan to try Garuda's Boeing 777, Philippine Airlines A330 and Cathay Pacific A350 are just a few that I'll be trying next year. So yeah, but check out my website if you want to know the rest of them. So yeah, that does conclude the Q&A and all of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Hope it wasn't too long. Let me know if you want me to do more in the future, in a few months maybe, once there's some more questions that people want to ask. So yeah. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and I hope to see you on Saturday at 6 p.m. AEDT or Melbourne time.